Hello. Welcome back to our training, to our second training for this year, or to our second week training. And I'm so happy that you've joined me. I'm so happy that I'm taking you through this farm tour for today. And I'll be so specific because today we want to learn about nursery management. In nursery management, there are several things we are going to look at. There are several types of nurseries that we need to set up in our farms. We are also going to look at on the type of irrigation, also what leads to choosing one type of nursery and leaving the other, what leads when this type of irrigation is used in excess or is used in excess. So to start, first thing first, we have several types of nurseries. One of the nurseries that we have is raised bed nurseries, and the raised bed nursery is what you see here, is what we have here. This is a raised bed nursery, and this is what I'm currently having in my farm, or this is what I'm currently having in my farm. In these raised bed nurseries, I've done several crops. Like in this one, this is spinach. That training of another day, I'm going to bring specifically spinach training classes. They're on the lower side there. That's collard, sukuma wiki, or that kills. That is what we have on the lower side. And also here we have cabbages which has already germinated. And on the upper part of the nursery that looks as if there is nothing that is germinating, I've done carrots in those nurseries. So these three nurseries, we are going to transplant whatever is there, but this one we are not going to transplant. In fact, this is not a nursery. This is a seed bed. There is a difference between a seed bed and a nursery bed. A nursery is where you raise seedlings and transplant them later. A seed bed is where you raise seedlings up to maturity. So we have 3 seed beds for carrots, and we have 3 seed beds, one for spinach, one for kales or sukuma wiki, and another one for cabbages. The reason why we usually choose the least seed nursery one is the mode of irrigation that we're using. In most cases, if we are using drip irrigation, this is the kind of nursery you need for those who are using drip irrigation. Those that are using overhead irrigation, like sprinkler irrigation, like me, this is the type of nursery you need. Those who are using watering can, this is the type of nursery you need. We also have a flatland nursery. We can form a flatland nursery where we come sow our seeds. We use the same method of irrigation, overhead irrigation, drip irrigation, and also use the watering can. If you choose this type of nursery, or you choose the flatland nursery, you cannot do the flooding, the furrow irrigation, or the basin irrigation. You cannot do that. So you need this type of nursery for you to be able to be able to learn the nursery successfully. You need overhead irrigation, and also you need raised bed nurseries. For the sunken nurseries, I'm going to take you to the section of sunken nurseries. This is just a mention. It's also among the nurseries that we have here. Though we started with sunken nurseries, and now we've come to this type of nurseries, which is now our main type of nursery and what we are using for us to raise seedling. For the sunken nurseries, I show you the disadvantages and advantages and why I left the sunken nursery. But for now, let's talk about this nursery and the biggest advantage. The biggest advantage of this nurseries is if it rains and there is flooding, your seedlings are always safe, unless it's floods that is going above, and it's abnormal flood. If it's abnormal flood, like you've experienced El Nino, that can carry your nursery. But if it's a normal lane with just a sizable height of floods, that your nurseries will be safe. But for the now flooding, if it rains, your seedlings are being carried. The flat one, your seedlings are being carried. So this is the advantage of using the raised nurseries. Also, when we are digging and we are whipping the soil, we tend to loosen the soil. So our seedlings in such a nursery grows and develops their root network very well, with high amount of oxygen in the soil because of the digging that we did, with good mixing of manure when you're starting. So these nurseries becomes one of the best because of the plowing and the digging and everything. Also, those who want to do the zero tillage will go for the flat nurseries because they don't want to disturb their soils. So at the end of it, we need to form a nursery, and a nursery that works for our sake. These nurseries, the biggest disadvantage about these nurseries is you need to have a lot of water, or you need to have enough water, because it's laced, it's very exposed to sunlight, so you end up losing a lot of water, and it needs a lot of water almost on daily basis, or if you are going to have a day that you skip, it's just one day, then the other day you have water. So water is very essential, water is very good in such a nurseries. Yeah, still on the raised nurseries, or just general on the nurseries, like I told you, I'm going to show you the sunken one when you go to that area. There are few things you need to check with your nurseries, because this is where we raise our seedlings. As you can see, the seedlings have just germinated. They are germinating, they are many. They are competing with the weeds. The weeds have also started germinating. So one is to remove every weeds. Like now, tomorrow or a day after tomorrow, we are going to remove each and every weed that is in this nursery to prevent the competition of nutrient, the space, and also it may harbor diseases and pests and give the nurseries. From weeding, we come to a very key thing. This is what we would have started with: irrigation. Irrigation is very key, whether you're doing sunken, you're doing a flat, or you're doing this key nursery, because remember, one of the factors that we considered when setting up a nursery was nearness to the water source. Your nursery should be very close to the water source. I'm going to show you my water source, the green energy system that I'm using. I'm going to show you to it, but you need to be very close for you to give it enough water, and that water will be available when your nursery needs it, not running 1 kilometer away to fetch water for your nursery. The next thing is security. You need to check about the security. Those are the factors to make sure your nursery is secure. Now coming to the management part of it, from those factors when setting up the nursery, we have a problem with cutting insect, we have a problem with diseases, and we have a nutritional problems when leasing a nursery, just like the milk field. For diseases, there is only one disease which is caused by high moisture content and cold conditions. And remember, in nurseries we are using a lot of water, so there is high moisture content. So be assured or know that there can be attack of dumping off, which is a fungal disease, which end up attacking your seeds, which end up attacking your seedlings. So you should protect your seedlings at all costs against dumping off. You should protect them at all costs against cutting insect. For my dumping off, I'm using metalaxyl mancozeb to control and to make sure they are very secure. So from protecting them against the cutting insect and the dumping off, if you have a question, you can ask it on the comment section. I'm going to reply to you at the end of the session. I'm going to reply to you. So we go to our nurseries. Like I told you, in this section here, this is a seed bed. I've done carrots. I will be taking you. There is a class that is loading for carrot. Very soon you start seeing me training about carrot for the small scale, just making beds, how to make them, and sow the carrots. So that section for the carrots. So this is my nursery. This is a cabbage nursery. On the lower part, I've done skuma wiki, the collard, or we call them just forgot the name. It's either skuma wiki, collard, or just forget the other name. But those are the common names that we use. The upper part is spinach, and this is cabbage. This is my system of irrigation that I'm using. I'm always using the sprinkler. with a capacity of 1 cubic or 1.2 cubic. I usually call it 1 cubic because sometimes the pressure invariance. So 1 cubic water per hour, and a radius of 7.5 meters. So it has a very good coverage when it comes to these nurseries. As you can see, weeding, like I told you, weeding need to be done. So weeding in the nursery, we do it by uprooting to avoid disturbing the seedling. So this is how we do it. All the weeds need to be removed. All the weeds need to be removed. So weeding needs to be done without disturbing the seedlings. Another thing I know you would have asked this is about the nutrition. The nutrition, as per now, I have not applied anything. I started the manure, preparing the nursery. You can start with that. Then at this stage, we are looking forward to do a phosphorus based product. Of course, the phosphorus product comes with nitrogen, so it's a combination of nitrogen and phosphorus for stem development, for root network, good root network, and also for leaves because of nitrogen. So that is what we'll be doing for the next few days when it comes to fertilizer application. We are here now. The reason why I ran away from sunken bed to raised bed. As you can see, this is my raised bed. This is my sunken bed. The sunken bed, I end so many problems after germination. You remember me showing you fully germinated nurseries when I was applying the fertilizer, when I was after breaking the seedomas. We have a training about the seedomas, we have a training about the fertilizer here. We have so many trainings about the capsicum. So it germinated well, over 90% germination, but I lost some of the seedlings because of the system of irrigation I was using, and that was the sunken nurseries. Because when choosing the two types of nurseries, remember this one does very well in moist conditions, wet conditions, and highland areas. Does very well. This one does very well in dry areas and places with less water, with less amount of water. I'm telling you, you need to have enough water, but enough water is different from different locations. So water destroyed my seedlings, so I shifted to this, and as you can see, it's doing very well. So in this, I've lost around 60%, around 60% of the seedlings because of water. And if you choose this one, these are some of the challenges you are going to face of excess water destroying your seedlings. This one I've lost around 40%. I have 60% of it. This one is intact. Still have around over 85% of the seedlings. Also around over 85% of the seedlings. This section here. On the lower side here, over 90% of the seedlings are okay. 95 of the seedlings are alright. So we are done with the upper part of the nurseries, and I wanted to take you through my irrigation system. After setting up the nurseries, like I told you, I use the sprinkler, and I'm lucky to have been among the few farmers in Africa, small scale farmers, because there are other large scale farmers, among the few small scale farmers who are using the renewable energy. Remember the COP28 that was in Dubai last year, in 2023. Among the things they discussed was adoption of the green energy, and I was lucky to have adopted one, invested in one, and that is what I'm using at the moment. It's an automated system, though because of the training I decided to switch off the system, and I'm going to switch it on again. Yes, when it's off, because I cannot climb there, like I told you, it's automated. This is what I use to switch it on. It's one of the best system that I have here. It's already on, and from there now, this is where I'm getting my water. The system, the green energy system, I shifted from this. I upgraded from Diesel, you can see how irregular diesel prices are especially in Africa. In East Africa, it's very expensive. So sometimes running a farm using diesel becomes very expensive. So I changed from diesel and upgraded to solar. That's my water source. So when we talk of a water source, or when we talk of you need to have enough water, this is what I talk about. This where I get my water from. It's enough. It's more than enough. I'm even tempted to tell you that I'm going to give you some of the water. If I wish I had a big land so that I can give you a portion where you land. But this way I get my water and my irrigation. The reason why I don't fear, not in fear is the system of irrigation that I'm using. As you can see, it's an overhead irrigation. It's already taking place. The place that we are in there, um, doing very well with no fear, with less fear. But one thing you need to look at when irrigating your nurseries is the hours of irrigating. I know it's late, which is past 4. We are not supposed to do irrigation, but for the sake of training, I've decided now to continue with the training. I'm going to switch it off at the end of it because I wanted to see you my system, and also when I use the sprinkler, how they rain. It's like rain. It's an artificial rain to me, and that how they work in my farm, and that's how it is. So there is a very important point I wanted us to look at before we had our nurseries. I've been receiving so many questions, and this is not the financial part of it. If you do this, you can get a lot of money by selling these seedlings. Yes, nurseries preparation or selling seedlings is also a good business. But in my case, I'm not in seedling business. This is for my farm. This is will be transplanting for the capsicum probably from next week. So wait for next week. I'll share the classes here on this channel, and also so that you can continue getting all the information about everything. So back to the business. There are these 2 units here that I did of dania, measuring 1 meter from one hedge to the other, and with a length of around 20 meters. I bought half kg of dania. I don't know whether it is overpopulated or not, but at the end of it, I'm going to know it. But in my case, I'm targeting around 20 to 30 kgs of green dania in this section of green coriander. So I did this first week, and this is the second week. This the reason why I'm here is I wanted to share about the finances. So many of you may feel discouraged or are interested into getting into farming and may want to get into farming, but sometimes finances are not favoring you. If finances are not favoring you, with less than 10,000, you can become a coriander farmer. And in the market, coriander is selling very well. Our farm gate price of coriander at the moment is selling at around 40 to 60 shillings, depending by your location and where your farm is. Also the health of your coriander. So let's say 40 shillings time is multiplied by 20 kgs. That 800 shillings of what I'm getting here. That is half of the cost of production, because my cost of production here, I'm estimating it to be, it's supposed with diesel and everything is supposed to be around 400, but I'm estimating it to be less than 400. So with 800, you're making double of what you're doing. Do this in weekly basis and you're going to make money. And you're not limited to do a short 20 meters bed like me. You can do even 100 meters, you can do even half an acre, you can do quarter an acre of this and make good money out of this. So if you have been asking a crop that you need to grow and take the shortest time period, because this one takes less than 30 days to maturity. If it stays for long, let's say around 40 days, if it stays for long, and within less than 30 days, you've earned yourself, like in this bed, 800 shillings. If you have 8 of these, if you have 10 of these, you can see how much you're making. So on weekly basis, I'll be doing this, but with time, I'm going to increase my capacity and do more of this because I want to grow coriander throughout the year. The herb is in high demand throughout the year, so I'm not in worry. What I need to check is the market trend and what the market needs, and I continue farming coriander and making businesses. Hope you've learned something from our today's farm tour and about our today's nursery tour. If you have something that you'd like to learn, an extra anything that you'd like to learn, leave it on the comment section. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer you, leave it on the comment section. After this show, I'm going to answer you so that we can continue farming together and we continue growing together. If it's your first time you're watching me, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe so that we can continue learning together and be good farmers. Bye.